8 games of hoops on a Wednesday night, an excellent Detroit Clippers game with a throwback Harden performance. The Cleveland and Thunder just keep winning, and Wizards get a win as well. My name is Shlomo Stark.
And my name is Levi Jacob.
And this is the NBA Daily Recap in 15 minutes or less. Levy, what a night of hoops. Let's forget the dilly-dally. Let's get right into it. Give me your thoughts on the game of the day, the Clippers against the Pistons.
Well, they had no Kawhi, and James Harden throwing it back, like you said, with 50 points. He went all out. It was an incredible performance.
From the beginning, he went all out.
They ended up eking out the win. Notably, Cade Cunningham had 37 points, 10 assists. Jalen Duren didn't play as well this game. Kind of ended up getting into some foul trouble. He fouled out in the end. But all around, just such a fun back and forth, such a great firefight.
Do you think Zubats is going to be Sabonis soon? Like that we'll talk about him in the same category, or is he a category Billy? I just feel like just forget about storylines, forget about celebrities, forget about NBA stars. I just look at his stats every night and I'm impressed. At what point is he just as good as Sabonis? Or as good as I'm trying to think of any, is he Andrew Bynum? What is he?
I think he's a different archetype in a sense. Sabonis's game is more dynamic.
No, I don't mean the style of play. I mean that we talk about them in the same regard. Like, these guys are underrated centers. I think Sabonis has hit he's not Jokic, he's not Wemby, but he's underrated. So I'm saying, when is Zubats? I don't think we talk about Zubats like that. I think Zubats is more in the Clint Capella category, of above Jackson Hayes, but in the Derrick Lively, he's in that realm. And I just feel like his stats are better. And my question is, when does that shift up to the Sabonis level of should he be a third team All NBA or
I think Capella was a very, very good comparison, peak Capella. But I think with that, right, he does a very good job playing center, but it isn't I feel like when someone becomes an all-star first team All-NBA is when they kind of are able to go outside of their confines. But he's he really is a tried and true center. Really gets you what you need. His defense is solid. It's very solid. It's also a perfect person to put next to Harden.
Right. Somewhere Roy Hibbert is smiling. Next, Cleveland beats Miami 112-107. Cavs become a team that now has 3 separate 12-game win streaks. They also clinched the playoffs last night, and it was a really close game. It was a battle towards the end, but just like it's been the entire season, the Cleveland Cavaliers are now 52-10 and come up with a victory. I am so impressed with this team. I think I've said this before on the pod, but now I officially fear them in the playoffs. I think I was used to the Knicks beating them, that I wasn't so nervous. I think I'm nervous now. Also interesting, it was Kevin Love's first game in Cleveland since leaving Cleveland, which I don't get how that's possible. But they gave him a tribute. Maybe he was just hurt every time. But I think he left in 2018. It was 5 years ago, 6 years ago. But they gave him a tribute last night. I was so surprised that he's never been in Cleveland since he left. Anyway, your thoughts on this game?
That's a very interesting stat. And I think also the disappearance of big men post LeBron James being on a team with them also needs to be studied. Chris Bosh, I know the blood clots thing, whatever, but there's a few seasons in the middle where he was solid, but just wasn't in the same form that he was before playing with LeBron. And the same thing with Kevin Love. Just now he's on the older side. What happened to him? He just disappeared.
Right. Yeah, I think it was the LeBron effect of he just stood in the corner for a while. And LeBron makes his 2 good and his 3 a corner guy. So that's a problem. I also just looked this up because we were talking about it and I'm totally wrong. I misremembered. In my head, Kevin Love left in 2017. He left 2 years ago. He signed with the Heat 2 years ago, and that's when he left the Cavs. Now I'm remembering that he was there past Kyrie, past LeBron. It was kind of just that Kevin Love team, and it's what is this? Why is Kevin Love not good? That's when we asked that question originally. But now, as I'm reading it, it's oh yeah. So it makes a little bit more sense, but it's so funny. In my head, he left after the championship. but that's just not true. Something I forgot to mention about this game is that I totally forgot. Miami had the tying three with 17.4 seconds left, and Duncan Robinson tied it up with 17 seconds left, and then they waved it off because Duncan Robinson was out of bounds. Very, very, very debatable call. You could look it up. It's like, to me, it did not look like it, but that was actually a really, really significant part of the game.
Also, another fun fact for this game, you get to see the classic Mitchell versus Mitchell, Davion and Donovan.
Yes, very good.
Yeah, Davion has been playing really like a Heat player. It's been a lot of fun to watch. This team seems scrappy.
No, they're cool. They're a great playing team. Okay, next, Denver beats the Kings 116-110. Denver now officially a 40-win team. Jokic's awesome corner with 22 points, 14 rebounds. Good golly. The guy is just a double-double machine. 9 of 18 shooting, 4 of 6 from free throw, and a steal. DeRozan at 35 points, but this Kings team is just... without Fox, it's not. They're kind of like the Heat. They're like a feisty playing team.
Well, and Sabonis is out.
And Sabonis is out. Thank you for reminding me. I forgot.
Valanciunas replaced him pretty well for this game.
Valanciunas, another guy who's probably in the Zubats conversation. Like, I think that my point is that Zubats is like a level above these guys, but he's not talked about as that way. He's listed in the Zubats, Lively, Capella, Hibbert, like, solid center, great guy to have in your rotation. And if you just look at his stats every game, it's like, when does this guy get Nurkic? Is like, when does this guy get to be one level above? Anyway.
Westbrook had a very good game.
Westbrook did have a very good game. I think it's very simple. When Westbrook plays well, Denver is one of the best teams in the West. When he doesn't play well, they're beatable. I wouldn't say they're one of the worst teams in the West, but they're beatable.
It's usually how Russell Westbrook works. Like, he's such a big force on a team that, like, if he's playing within the confines of what he's supposed to be doing, the team is very successful. If he's not doing that, it's always difficult to watch.
Yeah, that checks out. Next, OKC beats Memphis 120-103. I'm tired of talking about this. The Thunder are amazing. Anyone who plays them looks bad. Shai Gilgeous scored 41 points. Do you have more analysis on this?
He's just an animal, that's all.
He's so good. Next, a lot of blowouts now. Oh, you know what? Before the blowouts, let's just give Washington its credit. Washington beats Utah 125-122. You're a big Utah guy. You want to talk about Kayshawn George? Kayshawn?
I mean, that's more of a Washington guy, though.
Well, you beat them.
Wizards.
He had them scoring. How do you pronounce his name?
Kayshawn?
Well, Rabbi
I'll look it up on Google.
Rabbi Benovitz, you helped me last time. Is it Keyshawn, whatever it is. He led the Wizards in scoring. Good for him. They beat the Jazz. I guess if Washington needed to win, at least it could be against the Jazz. No Jordan Poole, so Washington was even hurt. So good job by them. Kenyon Martin Jr., Kyle Flipowski, Johnny Juzang, Bryce Sesnabaugh, and Isaiah Collier are their starting five. Good job by you, Wizards. Way to win by 3. Next, Milwaukee beats a also depleted Dallas team. Wow. Did you see that injury report? Everyone is out for the Mavericks. Let me read you the list of all the people who were out for the Mavs. Anthony Davis, adductor. Kyrie Irving, torn ACL. Daniel Gafford, knee. Derek Lively, ankle. PJ Washington, ankle. Dante Exum, foot. Jaden Hardy, ankle. Caleb Martin, hip. So, yeah, the Bucks will beat you by 20. Congrats to Giannis for scoring 20,000 points. Next, I'm going to run through these games because we spent a lot of time talking about other things. Boston beats Portland 128-118. Not such a significant game, but really cool because Pritchard and White both scored over 40. This is the first time in Celtics history. And Celtics have a very, very large history where 2 players scored over 40. Interesting to me that it's like 2 quote-unquote bench guys, even though Derrick White's not technically a bench guy. White's, I guess, the 5th man. So it's kind of cool that, the not significant players were the ones who both scored 40. Next, last game of the day. Minnesota beats the Hornets 125-110. Edwards and McDaniels each scored 29 to send the Hornets to their 8th straight loss. LaMelo Ball scored 28 points. There were some nice highlights this game. I recommend you go on YouTube or Clutch Points or wherever you get your highlights and watch them because Anthony Edwards had some nice plays. LaMelo had some nice plays. That was the NBA Daily Recap in 15 minutes or less. I want to thank you, Max, for producing. I want to thank you for listening.